Hello and welcome to another How Does That Work video. Today I'm going to be tackling the weather. Now this video should be fun throughout, with a top length of around about 5 minutes and some clouds towards the end of the video. Let's get going.
The weather. How does that work? Well, whether it's looking forward to sunny days, telling the rain to go away, even though it's good for the plants, or hiding under the duvet in thunderstorms, or even enjoying the magic of snow. In the UK, the weather is something we are all very interested in. But why and how does the weather change? Well, those are big questions, so let's take it step by step. First, what is the weather? A simple question, but a good place to start. When we talk about the weather, we normally mean what it's like outside, but really the weather is what the conditions are like in the bubble of air that surrounds our planet, the atmosphere. These conditions include the temperature, the windiness, how cloudy it is, and how much rain or snow will fall. So now we're clear on what the weather is, how and why do these changes occur? Well, this is very complicated, and in fact meteorologists can spend their whole lives being paid to answer these questions and tell us what the weather is going to do next. But we'll have a go at understanding the basics. Temperature is responsible for causing lots of the weather changes that we experience. Around the planet there are areas of hot and cold air, and these areas are constantly on the move, swirling and twirling together to make our weather. This swirling and twirling is all to do with sunlight, the oceans, and gravity, that force that keeps you from floating off into space and also makes your toast hit the ground when it slips out of your hand. Anyway, let's stay on track. Probably the most important thing to understand is that the heat from the sun can cause air to move. When air gets hotter, the invisible particles that make up the air get more excited and begin to spread out, moving upwards in the atmosphere. Colder air has less energy and begins to sink towards Earth. And because different parts of the Earth's surface get different amounts of sunlight at different times, what we end up with is a crazy dance of air moving here, there, and everywhere. We call these movements, especially the big ones, weather systems. And as these weather systems move, they change the temperature, cause wind, and affect how cloudy the sky will become. Our country, the UK, is somewhere in between the equator, that's down here somewhere, and the North Pole, that's up here. And in this strip of the Earth's atmosphere, we get a lot of movement in the air. And that's why in this country, our weather can change quite a lot. Now, there's one thing we haven't talked about that much yet. Clouds. A brilliant mind recently asked me, Mr. Cook, what is a cloud made of? And that is a very good question. The simple answer is that clouds are made of water. Now, some of you are thinking, well, why can't we all go swimming in the great pool of the sky then? Maybe that's just me. Clouds are made when water vapour, that's water that's been made into a gas, just like the steam that comes from a kettle, cools down and begins to form tiny droplets of either water or ice, depending on how cold it is. So even though a cloud looks like a marshmallow, or perhaps the softest pillow in the world, it's not actually solid and you can pass straight through it. Aeroplanes do this all the time. And of course the thing about clouds is they affect how hot or cold it is. In the day they block the sun, making it cool, and at night they act like a duvet, keeping the earth warm and stopping heat from escaping into space. And there are actually many different types of clouds, all with pretty fun names. Meet cumulonimbus, cumulus, altocumulus, cirrus, nimbostratus, stratocumulus, cirrocumulus, and stratus. Okay, let's summarise what we've learned today. When we say weather, we are talking about the conditions in the layer of air surrounding Earth called the atmosphere. Hot and cold air swirl around the atmosphere, creating weather systems which may change how hot, windy, or rainy it is. And clouds are fun, not because they're actually giant marshmallows, but because they are liquid or ice water suspended in the air, and they also have an impact on how hot and rainy it is in a specific place. Wow! We've covered a lot of things today in a very short amount of time, and I definitely need a break. So I think I'm going to go outside. Fingers crossed it doesn't start to rain.
Well, that's it for another video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a brilliant week whatever you're doing, and remember, stay smiling, keep curious, and keep asking, how does that work? See you soon.